Hello, reporting live from Rhode Island. It is Lo. Welcome to Life with Lo. Welcome. So this week I want to talk a little about spirituality, which is kind of a heavy topic. It has a lot of different realms and concepts to it. So I thought before I do little components or little parts of spirituality, like I'll do a series maybe. I thought before getting into that, I would start with the 5 books. So the 5 books that opened my curiosity to spirituality, that gave me a feeling, a little taste of this peace that I have within, that just made me want more and more and more and more. So I am so grateful for the authors that wrote these books, and I hope you stay tuned. If you've ever wanted to just dig a little bit deeper inside, inward, and these are definitely the books you should start with. They are simple, they're easy to read, and they will just completely transform your life. So stay tuned, and I will get into the 5 gems that I have. So I'm just going to show you the 5 books. So I'm initially just going to give you the titles and the authors, and then I'm going to go one by one, kind of explaining what the lessons are and what I really learned, or my biggest takeaways from them. So most of the books kind of have this commonality, like just the base of spirituality, which is about your subconscious, your conscious self, your higher self, being able to differentiate between your thoughts, your emotions, these patterns that you have, and just kind of understand that life is a lot easier than it might seem. You just first have to understand this person. You first have to dig deep and spend some time with yourself to really figure out who you are, right? Understand why you think this way, to figure out why your thoughts feel this way, and just kind of being able to be the person listening to your thoughts, because that's who you are. When people ask that question, are you the person speaking or the person listening? You are the person listening. Your brain, just like every other organ, is just meant to think. It's meant to do a job. So it does just that. So I am just going to show you my 5, and then dig a little bit deeper into them. So my first one being, oh man, I love this book. So this is called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Oh my God, I love this book. Number two is Meet Your Soul by Elisa Romeo. So this was amazing, and it was written by a female, so you know, whoop whoop, being a feminist, I absolutely love this book. Incredible book. Then number 3, so I have the older version just because I wanted to be able to just kind of get a feel for what Gary initially wanted to write, and then there's not much changes in it, so feel free to get this copy or get the I believe there's a 20-year anniversary revision, so check that out, or check the old version, up to you. So this is Seat of the Soul by Gary Zuchav. So this man is incredible. He was actually on the Oprah show. That's how I came across this book, because of Oprah. So number 3 is this beautiful book. Number 4, it's also, I have the old version. For some reason, I just like getting the old versions just to be able to see what they originally wrote. And then I usually check reviews online and see if maybe their new revisions has any new gems that that people picked up on. And then I'll get the new version. But usually, I really like the old version, so I don't look into the new ones. But so this one is a beautiful book called A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Also written by female, so I absolutely love it. And last, but certainly not least, is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I absolutely love this man. He is probably one of my favorite spiritual teachers. So we'll start debriefing a little bit on number 5. which is The Power of Now by Tolle. So for anyone like myself that's an overachiever, you're just constantly living in the future. I'm constantly thinking, what can I do to better my future? What could I do to just set myself up? What could I do for retirement? What could I do to retire my mom? What could I do for my family? Just future. I'm just constantly living in the future. And this book came to me at the right time because I was struggling with that. I wasn't spending enough time with my family or friends because I was so focused on work and work and work. And what I learned about the book, or just like the biggest lesson from the book, is just being able to be present, right? Because realistically, there is no such thing as a future. Tomorrow, it's going to be today, right? So the next day is going to be the present. The future is eventually going to be the present. There's no such thing. So this book helped me just kind of be able to kind of relax a little bit and understand that my life is right now. I need to focus on nothing else but right now and be able to just follow my heart. So it helped me get rid of the worries. It helped me just kind of dig deeper into the doubts I had, or the worries, or whatever gave me anxiety. It helped me just sit for a second and be able to enjoy just that. So instead of focusing on what is Leyanne going to do tomorrow, or how is Leyanne going to be successful, or how is Leyanne just being able to sit here and feel everything out. I think this was kind of also my introduction to meditation. So it's so important because our day-to-day, or our 9-to-5 lifestyle makes us get up, you go to work, then you come back home, you probably take a shower, you prep your lunch, and then you go to work again. You're such on a fast pace, just on a hamster wheel. You don't stop for a second and smell the roses and just stop. You're not able to just sit still and feel this body that you're in. Feel yourself out and see how you're feeling. Do you have tension in your stomach, in your back? And just kind of remind yourself that you're just human. And that will only happen when you take yourself out of the past as well as the future and just stay still in the present. This is all you have. So I think why I struggled so much with that is because that's something that wasn't taught to me, right? Growing up, no one's telling me, hey Leyanne, sit down for a second with yourself and feel this out. Feel this, like, this life that you have. Feel this body, feel this mind, just feel this moment, feel the people around you, and just really be present in it. No one really taught me that. It's always about, what are you going to do next? Are you going to school? Or what are you going to do after school? What are you going to do after this job? Oh, you don't have a job? What are you going to do? It's always like, what's next? What's next? What's next? Always pressuring me to figure out the future, when realistically I just wanted, like, my body and my soul really just wanted to be present. I think it came to me at the right time because I was becoming unhappy. I was becoming unhappy because I had no balance. And I'm not saying don't focus on the future. The future is important, but the present is a lot more important. And this book will dive in a lot more into that. And all the chapters will not only explain to you how important your present is, but it will also give you the tools and the steps on what you need to do to be able to just enjoy the present a lot more. So now a little bit about number 4. So number 4 was A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. So this book was incredible because for me, what I took away from it was you always need to respond to every situation with love. At the core of every human being, that's what we want. That's what we strive for. And without it, we're never going to be happy. And without happiness, you're not successful. So it taught me that instead of listening to my mind or my thoughts or the ego, to be able to react to everything with love. And one of the things that came to my attention the most was from, like, an interview that I had watched earlier before reading the book, that if you got to think about it this way. If you go into a fight, if someone comes to you with a fight, right? So someone wants to fight you and they bring a sword, and then you also have a sword, then it's going to be a fight. always, if someone comes at you and then you come at them, it's gonna turn into a fight. There's something that you're gonna miss. It's gonna be a lesson and a blessing that you're gonna miss from it, right? Because a disagreement is just a lesson that needs to be learned. There's something different about you that I don't know, and there's something different about me that you don't know. And then there's gonna be a fight, a struggle, and then a growth point. But if someone brings a sword and you bring a sword, it's gonna be a fight, and we're not gonna be able to grow. So the book, In Return to Love, was just always return to that center love. So when somebody brings a sword to the fight, bring love, and it's automatically gonna fill the room, right? Like, love is just the end all be all. It is the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that matters, no matter what. If you're ever unhappy, it's because there's lack of love somewhere. And please read the book. It's gonna go way more into depth. It'll give you more experience that Marianne had, and more examples in the book. So I'm gonna mesh the first three together because at the core, their teachings were very similar. Throughout the chapters, there are some differences, so you should definitely read the three, but just for the purposes of the video, I'm gonna mesh them so you're able to just kind of understand what my biggest takeaways were from these three. So for me, all these three titles had the word soul in it, right? And soul could seem like something that is not true if you haven't experienced it. But for someone like me that has experienced it, it is something that every human being needs to look more into. You need to look inwards. It is so important for you to be able to differentiate and separate the personality and the soul. Those are two different things. And a human being can go their whole life not really getting to know the soul, which is extremely sad, because life is so entirely different when you're able to see, hey, this is my personality traits, these are my human traits, but this is who I authentically am. When you're able to separate the two, that's when you become powerful. That's when you'll be able to make decisions, and the first time you make them, they're right, because you're following your intuition. You're following who you truly are. You're able to actually listen. So in the book, I was able to practice things that made me look more deeply inside. It's a practice. Spirituality is a practice. Like every other thing, it's a muscle that you have to continuously work on to be able to get to a place that you can actually get it. And also it's a feeling. So unless you're able to feel it, everything that I'm communicating to you, until you practice it, you're not, like, you can understand, you can conceptualize, but it's a feeling. You're gonna have to practice and get it. But so life is a lot harder when you're living from the personality force, right? Because the personality is tied into ego, it's tied into your thoughts, it's tied into your past experiences, it's tied into your trauma. So unless you be able to get rid of all these things and be able to be clear that you are the soul, this is who you are, and all those things aren't truly who you are, and you're able to detach yourself, life is a lot harder, right? Because you're living in the past, you're not present, and you're also moving from a force of ego. And ego is probably 100% the enemy of happiness, because it's a self-defense mechanism. So it's something that's supposed to defend you. So if you let it it doesn't have a mind, so it's not able to differentiate when it is supposed to defend you, or when this obstacle is supposed to help you grow, and there's nothing for it to defend you from, right? It doesn't know when to sit down. Ego is not humble at all. It does not know when to just calm down and let the soul take over. So the books talks a lot about the consciousness. So the consciousness is essentially your soul. So most of the time, if you're unhappy about anything in your life, if it's your job, a relationship, your family, just your financials, if there's anything in your life you're unhappy with, your soul knows all the answers. All you have to do is be able to sit down for a second, be present and be able to communicate with them. Be clear, right? Dive deeper. That's why meditation is so important. You're able to dive deeper and listen to what your core is saying, right? So unless you can clear that path of communication, if you're able to practice it all the time and be able to trace your path back to that core to be able to listen, then you're gonna be just moving through life, following just the world, just the course of whatever the energy of the world takes you, and you're gonna be unhappy. Because every human being is different, every soul is different, and every soul has different lessons that it was meant to learn in this lifetime. We're all different. In your past lifetime, you could have learned about love, partnership, but you lacked in family. So in this lifetime, you're supposed to be learning more about family. So you need to be able to listen. And the only way you can listen is when you're centered. When you're able to be like, okay, right now, these are just my thoughts, right? Your thoughts could be saying, oh my God, I'm not happy. Oh, I'm depressed, or nothing goes right? But if you're able to just kind of dive into that light and feel that light, it will show you that it's different, all right? Like, and I understand things do happen in life, and there is trauma, and there is bad experiences, and there is bad people. I do understand that. But when you're centered, all those things do not move you. They do not affect you as deeply as if you're working from the personality, then it affects you. When you're the soul, and when you're able to attach yourself to the soul only, you find this energy, the sense of light, the sense of peacefulness, that you are just constantly happy. Like currently now, I mean, things do happen in my life. Negative things happen, but it doesn't. I have bad moments. I never have bad days, because I'm able to look at the situation and say, okay, something is happening. All right, it's not giving me the best feeling, but I'm always coming from a place of, how do I fix it? This is not important. This is who I am. Everything else is external. Be centered. Learn what that means, and learn to see that you are not the personality. You are the soul. That's who you authentically are. I think the world would be so much more of a beautiful place if everyone was able to follow what their soul was saying. A lot of people would be a lot happier. A lot of people would stop working jobs that they're unhappy about. A lot of people would stop being in unhealthy relationships. And there would just be so much more connection between human and human, because we're clear. I think a lot of people are unhappy because they're not clear on who they are. They're not clear on what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not clear on who they're supposed to be loving. So spend some time and pick these books up. Most of the time, I go to places like Savers, Goodwill, Salvation Army. These books are gems. They're treasures. They have all the secrets. So pick them up. Just take some time out to yourself and have a care day, a self-care day. And go buy one of these shops. Go buy one of these shops and buy these books. They're so cheap. I think Savers, most of the time I buy them for $1. Do that. Get yourself a book. Fix yourself some lunch, and find a nice peaceful area, a park, a cafe, whatever you enjoy, and just take some time out for yourself. Do that at least once a week. It is so important. It will change all different areas of your life, but you need to have a self-care day. Self-care days are definitely extremely important. If you can't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of no one. And I know you want to take care of people in your life, your friends, your family. So take some time for yourself. Pick up these books and read. And I promise you'll be so happy with your decision that you made. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I appreciate you. And I will see you next week. Peace and love. LO signing out. Thank you so much.